Jerry. And the second question comes from my friend Adam.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Konoplyov.
Hello, how are you doing?
Thank you very much. Hi, Jerry.
Good evening.
Yes. Mr. Konoplyov, security and peace are a very important need in order to provide welfare, prosperity, security and protection for the general public. In this sense, how do you evaluate the general circumstances in the Middle East?
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I am not an expert of Middle East. I'm not working with that region. My expertise lays mostly on the Black Sea area or post-Soviet. But in general, what I could see that this is a lot huge. Besides the loss of human lives, is a huge economic loss. The loss which could be in the welfare, it will be in the economies. And you said absolutely right. When people live in prosperity, they don't have too many intentions to go to war. When people start to be marginalized, that's their intentions are just to go and conquer or go and fight for something. Mm-hmm. So if you just look for history, or if you look like to the map of Europe, the countries which are rich, they don't want to go to war. Like you take Switzerland, you take Scandinavian countries, because they achieved certain level, and it's just counterintuitive to do this. Middle East is mostly consists of poor countries and countries with poor economies. And now that with Arab Spring and recent developments in Syria and Turkey, and Israel and Hamas, the more money unfortunately will go to fuel those conflicts rather than to invest them in the economies. And also, if a country is in a situation like most of the countries, not most of the countries, many of the countries in Middle East and Northern Africa are, that scares investors. They don't want to put their money where the money could disappear or the governments could disappear and they would lose it. So I would say fighting peace in the Middle East, that's probably one of the, if not the most important problem of all humanity, not only people who live in this region.
And what do you think about this, Jerry? What's your comment on
that? Well, the statement about where the money is going rather than supporting the economies, that is a really big issue with war anywhere. The U.S., the economy here, depending on who you talk to, but the economy is not really that great here. And part of that reason is because we're spending $1.3 trillion a year on war. When you look at the number of homeless we have in this country and the unemployment rate, and when you look at interest fees and taxes, the amount of money being spent on war is hurting this economy really bad. I mean, that is one of the major problems we have. Whether it's admitted or not anywhere is maybe another issue, but that is definitely one of the top issues we have here. So when you look at other countries like Syria or Libya or even in between Hamas and between Gaza, when you look at countries that don't have the kind of funding that the U.S. has, and this is hurting our economy, you can just imagine on that scale the way it can affect those economies, especially with Syria. Syria, the amount of effort, and this is just anywhere, the amount of effort that goes into war, if that were to be put into communities, into economies, into people, into unemployment, into education and stuff like this, we would see, I think, a major upturn in economies all around the world. But of course, the key thing to that is getting back to we're all human again and getting communication flowing and getting people to understand that we have to work on points we can work on instead of fighting against the ones we can't.
Well, if I can make an addition for what Jerry said absolutely correctly, but not only the countries like Syria or Libya suffer from that. The United States suffers from that.
Oh, yes.
I mean, all the debate is like about economy, because economy becomes a major issue even for national security. If United States will not be able to fix the economy, the national security, I mean, the authority of the United States and the world will be corroded immensely, and its ability to influence in the world arena also would be diminished. Since I'm not an expert on that region, but I know more things about Caucasus, let's say. Look for three countries in Caucasus: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. If you look at their military budgets, they spend the highest percent of GDP for the military. And the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, it's a very dangerous one.
Yes.
Even today I was reading in the newspaper that the Twitter of President Aliyev against Armenia. This mostly like another topic, how media could be very controversial and, like bringing people to different sides. I see these people are ready to war. And huge amounts of their GDPs, of revenues from whatever they have, oil or productions, going to GDP, going to the budgets. Georgia, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it has the biggest, or had a couple of years ago, the highest rate of GDP going to the military budget, because President Saakashvili still is in a conflict with Russia Federation, and they try to protect their country by basically increasing the military might. And of course that's reflected in less money for social services, for infrastructure, etc.
I agree. I think about the Middle East, it's not the only case that, it's just the money. The economy plays a great role. I totally agree with it. But what is lacking in this misunderstanding of different countries is that there is no big brother. If there had been an Islamic Union, let's say Turkish Islamic Union, what we call it, and the budget of the Islamic Union for military will be very small, because it will be consisting of a lot of countries. And this big brother is going to stabilize all the country problems, and they were going to act as a just party for both parties. Now the Arabs are like they are approaching to the problem for Israel is quite emotionally, but there are virulent people from Israel, as we know. There are very nice Jewish people, and they are very much connected to God as well. And from the other side as well, the Jewish people can approach negatively to the Arab Union. But the big brother, if the big brother, Turkish Islamic Union, acts as a very just party, and then everything will be solved. It's not like the NATO, but something from these people's side. It is something from what all these people come together. I think this is more like politically than like more, maybe it's 50-50 more politically, and then the economically.